Lori Ann Spagna from LoriSpagna.com, here to share with you today a little bit about what is happening today that will change everything. Everything is about to change. And when I say about to change, I don't mean this exact moment of linear time, but today is a catalyzing force that is about to change everything. It's so big that we will see that change that was linked into today over the course of the next 20 years. And so for many of you, you may be aware of what I am referring to specifically. It is Pluto, the planet Pluto, shifting into the sign of Aquarius, and it is happening for the first time today. And as I speak, this day is Thursday, March 23rd. And I just want to speak briefly about why this is so important and so relevant, so significant, and how many of us who are on the awakening journey will be able to reflect upon this in the years to come as the pivotal change we are seeing happening. So Pluto, as a planetary body, is the planet that is associated with the deep transformation. It is associated with the phoenix that sort of creates, that burns down to the ashes, and then the phoenix that rises up from the ashes. So let me say that more clearly. The concept that something rises up out of the ashes of the fire that burnt the initial part of it down, right? And Pluto overall is one of those planets that may be least understood in astrology, in astronomy, and certainly by mainstream collective consciousness, scientific minds that just look at it as a mere planetary body without understanding the spiritual purpose of that planetary body and its unique mission as it serves the divine. As a conscious being, Pluto as a body, as an embodiment of a physical planet, is a conscious being serving the divine. So needless to say, mainstream science really does not understand that. And so what I'm about to share here comes through conversations literally with Pluto, and also my understanding of astrology from this and other lifetimes. So this dramatic thing essentially is the birth of the Aquarian age today, the literal birth. Now, while Pluto will go retrograde later this year and then come full-fledged forward again into the sign of Aquarius, when it goes retrograde, it'll dip back into the sign of Capricorn, where it has been for the last 12 years. It is still today is officially the birth of the age of Aquarius. Not the dawning, not the beginning of the dawn. It is the actual start of the age of Aquarius. So let's unpack that briefly. And I just say, that conversations with Pluto and the consciousness of Pluto. I've done that over many channeling sessions, but we did it in a very intense channeling session, most recently during our impromptu channeling and healing transmissions webinar for a brief time that's still available on my website. Under the live events tab, you can get the recording from impromptu group channeling and healing event. That the live event was in March, earlier this month, but the replay is still available. And it was amazing, the information, the insight that Pluto shared with us. Regardless, let me share Pluto, the great transformer, which we've just talked about. That transforming energy is part of a spiritual plan. It's part of the plan for lighted creation. And we are all part of lighted creation. And the plan of Pluto overall is to transform the shadow. That is the overall purpose, to transform the shadow. And when we talk about the shadow, we could talk about and refer to things that are secret, hidden, covert, associated with a dark agenda, associated with the dark, things that are based in separation and duality, things that do not serve the greater good or the collective of humanity, things that are harming, harmful, or detrimental, things that are sabotaging, unconsciously or consciously. These are the kinds of things we're talking about that Pluto transforms. So things of the shadow. These are just a few of the things. In human identity, many times we refer to that as the ego or egoic. People call it their ego. It's not really, that's a whole other conversation. And if you know me well, you know my beliefs around the ego and egoic structure. I won't take the time right now in this column to talk about that, but you can definitely check out some of my YouTube videos for that. This call is going first out to my inner circle and my newsletter community. This video recording will come out a little bit later on YouTube. So I won't go into the ego thing, but this is what Pluto is here for. It's to transform those shadow aspects and others like them. And it is as a planetary body here in service to the light. And it's part of God's source creator's plan for lighted creation, part of the agenda of the light to help that transformation take place. So Pluto's not an enemy. However, it is often by astrologers referred to as a malefic planet, strangely, interestingly. And they see it as that because it can do great destruction, but it's only destructing shadow things, truly. Now, going into the sign of Aquarius, it has a particular job to do over the next 20 years because it's staying in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And that's, interestingly, with Pluto, it's not it was in Capricorn for 12 years. And now it's moving, that was the last sign it was in, right? Now it's going to stay in Aquarius for 20 years. Why is that? Because the divine and the consciousness of Pluto and the consciousness of the collective that requires transformation in the area of Aquarius requires approximately 20 years of linear time for it to do what its divine mission and purpose is to do. Whereas in Capricorn, it only required approximately 12 years to do what its divine mission and purpose is to do. Now, a great example of Pluto leaving the sign of Capricorn is banks collapsing and showing people that that system is corrupted and it needs to collapse. So you see, it leaves in its wake the ashes and the opportunity for something new to be rebirthed, which we will see in the age of Aquarius. So I hope that's a good example. I hope that helps as an example. So moving into Aquarius, when we understand what the purpose of the sign of Aquarius is, and the sign of Aquarius in and of itself is not, it's just a collective consciousness. It's not the same thing as a planet. It's a sign that has energy, right? So when Pluto moves into that sign, it's going to transform everything that has collapsed in the last 12 years. It's going to collapse the shadow aspects of whatever is associated with Aquarius and leave that in the ashes so that that can be transformed when eventually Pluto moves into the next sign after Aquarius, which will be Pisces. Okay. So, which Pisces is the beginning of okay, I don't want to get too sidetracked. So what I want to say here is Aquarius overall represents those areas of life that are basically more organized, more geared toward the greater good of all. humanitarian. It's in service to humanity. It requires great open-mindedness. It has those qualities of being willing to create new. It has the qualities of being a true free spirit. It says, there is no false authority over me. It says, I am free. I am open. I am willing. I choose to create. I align with the divine. It decides that humanity and service to the greater good is far more important than selfish needs. Aquarius is highly intelligent, and so intelligent and highly original, unpredictable even because it's so original. So it's going to ask us all to really find our own unique, original, our authentic selves. And because it's so intelligent, it's going to ask us to become more discerning and more wise, more intelligent. It will no longer allow us to fall for these shadow, secret, covert, etc. types of things that we may have fallen prey to, so to speak, in the earlier years, especially those 12 years of Pluto going through Capricorn, which, again, just if you don't already know, Capricorn was the systems and the structures that were set up in our world. And now we're, of course, seeing incredible amount of corruption being exposed. And if you were on my 2023 predictions call, we know that was one of the things I predicted during that call. It's not me. I'm given information from the higher realms to share that that which was formerly labeled as conspiracy would now become extreme, just labeled as extreme corruption. And that is happening on the wake of Pluto leaving the sign of Capricorn and moving into the sign of Aquarius. And we're having to become more intelligent now and recognize higher truth and reclaim our connection with the divine and decide that we are no longer going to live in a service to self society that's all about me, and we're rather shifting into us and we, greater good of all. This is all part of this shift that Pluto is asking of us. Also, Aquarius as a sign tends to be, it's an air sign, which makes it pretty light. Obviously, air is light and easygoing, flowing. So we're going to have to become more easygoing and flowing. And Aquarius is highly ambitious because it is so wise, intelligent. And Aquarius tends to be very friendly because it does care about people and humanity. So these are qualities we're all going to be developing personally, and our world will be, in a sense, demanding, and Pluto will be enforcing it. In a sense, understand Pluto is also governed by universal laws, just as we are. And those are all put into place. And it's working with and in service to the divine to support humanity. So, it will clear the shadow aspects of these things, where we are not being open-minded, where we are not caring about humanity, where we are not aligning with the divine, where we are not being creative and expressive, free spirits, where we are giving our power away. Pluto is a big power transformer. Anyone who's ever taken my namology class, which is now being moved into my sacred membership, we know that P, the letter P, often corresponds to power struggle dynamics. Pluto does ask us to reclaim our power, or else it will be taken from us. We saw that in the year 2020. We saw that in the year 2021. Lest I remind everyone, major teacher for humanity there. So anywhere we're not being original, authentic, true to our authentic self, this will be shadow cleared, transformed. Anywhere where we're not being easygoing and in flow, harmonious, right? What are some energies of easygoing and flow, being in harmony? Wherever we can't be in harmony or in flow, easygoing, that will be likely transformed. Anywhere where ambitions are not aligned, shadow aspects of ambitions, me, will be transformed. Light aspects of ambitions will be more enlightened, where we truly are willing and desiring to be of service to the greater good. And that's never to the harm of ourselves or anyone else. Friendliness will be enhanced. Wherever friendliness is not prevailing, that will be exposed. That includes ridiculous wars that need not to be fought by narcissistic leaders who think it's okay to kill their own people for their own egoic expansion. So shadow aspects will be exposed and heightened to teach people and to help people change. So we want to, our idea, the thing about the Pluto transformation in Aquarius is to help us change for the better, right? Other shadow aspects of Aquarius that could be exposed is the unpredictability, the impulsiveness, the inconsistency. These are qualities that are shadowy, that really we will see that. So we do have to navigate that. These are the challenge areas of our lives. You know, extremism, erraticism, like being erratic, being extreme, being unpredictable, having that in our lives, which that is challenging. That's where we need the support, you know, of beings who help us, because those are the challenge areas. Stubbornness, stubborn refusal to change will be really challenged. Extremism will be very challenged. So if these are qualities that you have in your life, they will challenge you. And of course, these are opportunities for healing and transformation. Also, being detached or non-attached. The shadow side of Aquarius is that they're so brilliant and so smart that they're disconnected from their own shadow, and oftentimes disconnected from their own so-called negative traits or negative behavioral patterns, or the parts where they offend others, or where they're maybe too unpredictable or too erratic or too inconsistent or too extreme or too stubborn. So they can be attached, or they can be a little detached, or a little too disconnected from their own wounds. So that will be exposed. And that's where Pluto is relentless. Because if someone's not seeing their own wounded part, it becomes extreme for them. Because Pluto wants you to see it, and it will use extremism in the sign of Aquarius to show you the shadow that needs to be transformed, right? These are challenge areas. So, being insensitive is another example of detachment. You know, light workers learn a very, very highly evolved tool of loving and caring without attachment. It's a very challenging road to navigate, because we deeply love and care. And yet we cannot allow the pain and suffering of another who we're there to help heal or transform to take us down. And this is something that will be learned in the age of Aquarius, because you can't be detached. You can't not care. And yet you have to have a healthy kind of this. Another example, sometimes Aquariuses are not always the most modest. Or they may be overly modest. This is an area that's designed to bring about more confidence without overly insignificant, feeling insignificant or not confident, or overly modest, or overly humble, right? That area of life will be transformed too. So understanding, like overall, the sign of Aquarius is known to be the water bearer, because they are full of love and care, and yet they are disconnected from their own shadow. We say they, I mean people, but in general, the sign of Aquarius is like this. So these things are going to be transformed. And they're going to be transformed in our collective reality and in our personal experiences. So this now is the time for us, all of us, to be looking at this and recognizing that as we make the change internally, our lives improve, our personal lives improve, and thus the collective experience for humanity improves. It is not about attempting to change the collective, although that will be a natural byproduct. It is about deciding to align yourself with the light and choosing the path of the light, because the shadow aspects are going to be transformed and will continue to be transformed. In Capricorn, Pluto was transforming the systems, the structures, and the shadow egoic aspects of these same kinds of things, only as it related to Capricorn. Now in Aquarius, it's changing these shadow aspects of the things I just mentioned here. And for us to choose to align with the light will make our journey that much more graceful and will support the collective in the evolutionary journey that is happening on Earth. It is true to say that revolution does occur with Pluto. So people on a more 3D level or more involved in the physical world will likely do their form of revolts, protests, etc., because that is part of what they believe is required for change. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that, but I am saying 100%, with 100% certainty, that the fastest, most graceful, most desirable in a sense, most harmonious way for change is not through revolting in the physical world, but through transformation from within, transforming from within. And working with the divine to align with the divine so that the change that is ahead can be graceful, easy, enjoyable, and benevolent. So I hope this is helpful. I've been doing this work for more than 20 years. I myself am living proof in almost all of my endeavors that I can literally, almost everything I can refer to in my life is evidence of how powerful this work is. And I love doing this kind of work. It is my joy. It's why I do it for a living. And it has served me so well on my journey. I have watched my own transformation. And I have been working behind the scenes. I want to share with you about something that is so exciting to me, that is part of my transformation into the age of Aquarius, that I think is going to really empower so many amazing, incredible, passionate change agents who truly don't just want to sit by the sidelines, but really want and desire change for the better for humanity and for the collective, who are really excited about this, not living in fear, but rather embracing it and honoring it. I have been working behind the scenes on this for quite some time. And I just love working with passionate, high-performing spiritual seekers who are basically, unapologetically saying, yes, we're embracing this, we're courageous, we're powerful, we're ambitious, and we want to align with the divine. We are choosing to align with our roles in God's Source Creator's plan of light of creation so that we truly can be part of this change in ways that feel good and right and divinely aligned, in ways that unlock our own soul's divine plan and serve the agenda of the light. That is who I would like to work with. And I know that's part of my community, right? People who are passionate about this. And yes, spiritually minded animal lovers too, who really want to make that change and be of service and contribution to animals, and who aren't going to just sit by the sidelines, but also know that the old ways of fighting and revolting really aren't the way anymore. That's what I'm doing, right? I'm working for that. I've been doing that, and I'm going to be launching. I'm so excited. This is it. The drum roll, a sacred mentorship. It's so amazing. I'm so excited about it. It's going to include all of my courses and all of my workshops that I've ever done, for the most part, in terms of the things that people will be able to access and utilize. I'm really looking forward. I'm going to be announcing it very soon, and it's going to include mentorship with me so that people can really access and develop all their gifts, whatever you're working on to bring through, whether it's your gifts as a intuitive, a channeler, an animal communicator, an Akashic records reader, a numerologist, a psychic, an empath, an energy worker, an energy healer. Like, these are all my gifts, and I just want to share them with the world. And that means other passionate, courageous light workers like me, like you. I'm so excited about it, who really want to utilize the power of the divine in the physical world to transform this reality for the better in service to the light and the agenda of the light. I've been getting to know the agenda of the light intimately over the past 20 years. And it is glorious, and it is so much better than any mediocrity that we have on planet Earth right now. And it is so much better than the dark agendas that everybody is getting lost in. Oh my goodness. So I'm excited to share that with you. I will be sharing it with my community very soon. It is part of the Age of Aquarius for me. So I can't wait. It's not on my website just yet. There's lots of updates and changes happening on the website that I'm super excited about. We've been doing it with so much grace, and always as my divine team has been guiding and leading me. And I'm really excited about it. So please stay tuned for that. And if you want to check out some of the most recent changes and updates and what's going on there, you can head over to LoriSpagna.com and take a look at some of the updates. It's really exciting. And that's where we will ultimately announce my new sacred membership that I'm really excited to invite my community and tribe to join and be part of. It's going to be so transformational. I'm so sure that this is the way. This is the way, is to work with the light. And that this is the most graceful, most enjoyable, most easy way, most aligned way to navigate these challenging times, and also to truly have, be, do, heal, resolve, and transform whatever it is that our soul's agenda is requiring for us. Because that's really what it is. Your soul's agenda is what will prevail over what's ahead for the next 20 years in this massive game-changing time. Massive game changer, changing everything over the next 20 years. And your soul's agenda is what is going to prevail, because that ultimately is going to lead you and align you with your role in God's Source Creator's plan for light of creation. So excited to share this with you and to support you in that as well. So if you want more of that, you can find out about it over at LoriSpagna.com. I will be announcing more through our community there. I hope you will join us and participate as we really dive in on this. It's my lifetime's work and mission as well to share this. So I'm so excited about it. And in the meantime, if you'd like to get a replay of that impromptu group healing and channeling event where we spoke directly with Pluto and directly with Saturn, we got direct information from them about what their roles are and what they're here doing and how to work with them and how to utilize them, because Saturn is also making a big change that has already started in the month of March. Tons of insight and information there. Plus, we got healing and information with animals, various members of the animal kingdom, and benevolent beings who came in from the higher realms. That call was really fabulous. Over 2 hours of channeling and healing, transmissions. Got so much positive, amazing feedback from the participants that they felt like it was a game changer for them in their journey and how much they received and benefited from it. So you can still get that. It's available for a little bit longer over at Lori Spagna, maybe another week.com under the live events tab. You can scroll down and get the replay. And if you're brand new to my community or my tribe, please just enjoy this. I hope it will benefit you. And there's lots more like this, where this came from, over at my YouTube channel. You just go to YouTube and search Lori Spagna, or at the website where we announce all of the upcoming events, where we'd love for you to join us. Okay, with that, I'm going to say farewell for now. I thank you so much for sharing, for being the light that you are, for stepping into your divine role in service and contribution to the light as you align and awaken. And yeah, other than that, just want to say I love you, and I'm wishing you your most benevolent best as always. Okay, until next time, farewell for now. Bye-bye.